What is shakin', Internet? This is Salt bringing you the How to Tank for Dummies Gruul LFR guide. This guide will cover the basic tanking strategy for the second boss, Gruul, and Trash in the Slagworks instance of the Blackrock Foundry. I'll also briefly cover other interesting aspects for those not tanking, although that won't be the focus. For those in queue or already in the raid, here's a quick synopsis. Keep Trash faced away from the raid, and move out of fire zones. Make sure to share Inferno strikes with others in the raid, so face them towards groups of raiders, and avoid cave-ins and bad cones on the boss. So the Blackrock Foundry has a decent section of Trash, and technically I've already covered this with the Ore Gorger guide, so if you want to, you can go watch the Ore Gorger guide for pretty much the exact same Trash all the way through up to the catwalk. Now, going right on the catwalk is for Gruul, or straight if you just beat Ore Gorger. The adds here are mostly inconsequential. Just group them up and kill them. They can do some decent damage if you're tanking all of them, but a minor cooldown should be more than enough. Now, in Gruul's realm, you'll have to clear out more of the same Trash with the mini-boss Karnor the Cruel. Yeah, Karnor the Cruel, that's his name. He does AoE damage with these dagger things, but there's really nothing for you to do here. Just tank them all and kill them. Gruul is a very simple and straightforward 1.5 phase fight, I guess. Let's say 1.5, sure, why not? I'll clear out the major stuff first, then just go over some bonus material in case you want to learn. Now, Gruul starts as a pretty basic fight and only does 2 moves. First, and most important, is Inferno Slice, which is a huge cone attack that does lots of damage to everyone it hits. The idea is that you should share this with as many raiders as possible, but you shouldn't share it with everyone. Remember, do not share. Sharing is bad. See, those kindergarten rules fail miserably. Either way, you don't want to share it with everyone because it gives you a stacking debuff, which increases damage taken from future Inferno strikes. Now, the official strategy is that you point the boss at around half of the raid for the first one, and then at the other half for the second run, and then back to the first. There is no way, in this way, no one in the raid will be getting more than 1 stack of Inferno Slice except you as the tank. Now, you should be able to survive quite a few of these depending on your gear, but to be completely safe, your off-tank should taunt or you should swap tanks around 3 or 4 stacks. Now, if they don't, be prepared to use some big cooldowns once those more stacks start hitting. The second move that Gruul will pull out is Overhead Smash, which is just a giant cone attack. This one should be completely avoided and is pretty easy to do so. So, just step out of the bad ground as you have plenty of time to do so. Technically, he has a third and fourth move. The third move is called Cave In, which he just makes bad zones in the room, but this is pretty standard, so just move out of them. Neither the cave-ins nor the overhead smashes should really hurt you at all. There is one more part of this phase that doesn't concern you, and that's his fourth move, but I'll go ahead and cover it quickly. Petrifying Slam. The idea is that the boss will pick random raiders and knock them around or knock them back, doing lots of damage to them and anyone nearby. You really shouldn't ever have to worry about this very much, but be aware and try to stand away from the bad guys or the guys that have the Petrifying Slam if you can. Since they get knocked back, you really shouldn't ever have to deal with it because you'll probably be really close to the boss and dancing back and forth for Inferno Slices anyway, so Petrifying Slam is a move that you probably don't care about. Now, every few minutes, the boss will start on a destructive rampage. All this does is make him do his overhead smash repeatedly over and over and over again, which is his big cone attack. This is where you keep dancing around to avoid the attack, but there's really no other damage as long as you're not standing in cave-ins. During his rampage, your Inferno Slice stacks will fall off, meaning either tank can pick him up right afterwards. Otherwise, just keep moving back and forth. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap. Share Inferno Strikes with up to half of the raid, then move it to share it with the other half. It doesn't have to be half specifically, but you want to share it with as many people as possible, but not the same people twice in a row. Now, when not tanking the boss, you need to stay away from the main tank so you don't get a bunch of extra stacks of Inferno Slice. At about 3 or 4 stacks of it, you should swap tanks. Otherwise, avoid cones and cave-ins, and you're pretty much in the clear. Now, for those of you looking for real raiding, one huge difference between LFR and normal is overwhelming blows. This is a mechanic where Gruul will hit his tank, and anyone close to them, for a big chunk of damage and stack a debuff on them, increasing the damage from future overwhelming blows. This means tanks pretty much have to stay far apart from the rest of the raid in between Inferno Slices. as that is when overwhelming blows hit you. Now, the strategy is kind of a ping-pong style fight, where you stand with one group for an Inferno Slice, then you stand by yourself for overwhelming blows, then you stand with the other group for the next Inferno Slice, then you stand by yourself for another overwhelming blows, then you stand with the first group again for another Inferno Slice. You'll still be taking a few of these slices in a row, and will need cooldowns for the later ones. So that pretty much covers the Gruul fight in its entirety for LFR. Just share the Inferno Slices with different people, and use cooldowns for high stacks, and you'll be just fine. I hope you've enjoyed this guide for Dummies. If you want to see other guides for Blackrock Foundry, click the annotation in the top left of the video or in the description below to go to the main page. Please like, favorite, share, subscribe, all that jazz, and, as always, you keep it salty, Internet.